Hey, it's your boy Sergeant Hooked on Henshins. We're on part three. What am I doing with that? Get out of here. Three of our Rider Retrospective on Kamen Rider X8. If you didn't know, I did it before. The first entry of this whole series was on, um, oh my god, Ghost. Uh, so this is part three. We're going to be talking about the fight choreography overall throughout the series, and then my kind of final last little thoughts, and then also, what else? My final rating for the season out of 10. I used like decimals too, like 0.5s and stuff, so we'll get there. Um, but yeah, so we're going to jump straight into the action, if you will. Mighty action. um, I think this is the guy chat. Mighty action. There it is. Anyway, so the overall fight choreography is really, really good in this season. What's cool is that everything, again, the show has a really good, like, strong grasp on identity. What I mean by that is that, like, each character, may they be insignificant or important, not insignificant, minor or important, um, or major, I guess, whatever, are like really well like characterized, and this definitely goes into the fights as well. X8 is very, the way he fights is very jumpy and all over the place, very quick. Um, Brave is very precise with his sword play, and how he attacks, which feeds into, does a good job of feeding into the cycle with him and who Hero is, the character, being this very very strict, no goofiness or weirdness type, focused doctor that he is. Taiga, and using his little gun that he has with what is it called, bang bang shooting or whatever, and all the different forms. The gunplay is really, really cool. Kira is kind of different because his level 1 is just the chibi form like everyone else has, which I forgot to talk about last episode, but that's part of the series. The chibi forms are adorable and I love them. But anyway, um, uh, then his level 2 is a bike. So the Kamen Rider has finally become the bike. um, and then X-A just kind of rides him for a while, and then eventually, once he comes back, or no, before he dies, he gets the oh, what was that? Oh, I can't remember the name of it, but it was like this like samurai type one, that gives him his level 3 form, and that was really cool until then he died, and then he comes back with his laser level X form, and then he gets a Chanbara one in uh one of the like V cinemas where that was the laser versus Genin one. That's really cool if I remember right. But again, he's very like quick and uh kind of you can't really keep like a track on him. Like he's very unique and kind of all over the place, trying different tactics, very in your face. I really enjoy it. One of my favorite fights to watch is any fight that includes dangerous zombie. I need to get that gash shot. I love it. They do a really good job of playing into the zombie aesthetic with it, um, and how he moves as a zombie when he freaking transforms. He's like, looks like he's like dying pretty much, and I love that. I love that it feeds so well into the suit, and the way the suit actors bring life to these characters is beautiful. The fights are so cool with him, and the way that his attacks work. He's very like erratic with his movements and stuff. Um, and again, it's one of those things like Hero that feeds directly into Dan as a character who's a fucking psychopath and just a goof entirely. So like him being erratic in his fights and kind of random and can't keep a track on him makes sense. Um, so I really enjoy that. Kronos is alright in his fights. I have like a bit of an issue with Kronos because I don't know, it doesn't last too long, but I really don't like it when there's like these unbeatable characters in anything. Like, there's a lot of examples of it, but I mean, one offhand I can think of um, is like kind of like the thing in fighting games where you're just like getting like cornered by a guy and he's just like destroying you. You can't do anything, you can't move, you can't fight, you can't block, nothing. You just get destroyed, you can't do anything about it. I hate that. So his whole, I like that they did a good job of honing in on that like hated quality of like encountering a game character that just won't let you do a thing and keep beating your ass. His whole like pause, restart, gut and all that, all the abilities he did were really, really cool. And it irritated me, but for good reason. You're supposed to make you hate him. On top of being an asshole, they like make you hate the character even more so. Um, and I really dug that. I thought that was really strong. I thought that was really well put together. Um, a lot of his fights, he's very like um, similar in ways to Hero, where he's very succinct with his fights. It's not a lot of long battles because at some point he's gonna pause, beat your ass, and then turn time back on, and you're destroyed, done, get out of my face. Um, which I love the fight between him and first fight between him and Hyper Muteki when they finally activate Hyper Muteki for the first time, because his whole thing in every fight is basically, I'm going to cancel that Gashet. I'm going to cancel production on that. And he tries to, and there's Max Mighty X with the Hyper Muteki on. He attaches, and he stops him, and he's like, pause, and he's like, and he's all laughing, all, foo 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 with his glasses. Very anime like. And Emma's just like, psych. And attaches the Gashet, and Hyper Muteki is not affected by his abilities. It can't do it, and I love that. I love it, love it, love it. How do you beat basically a cheater with even more cheating? So I really like their fight. He kicks his butt pretty solidly, and I really enjoyed that. And the fight with the Bucksters are good. The fights with the Bucksters are good too. I think they do a really good. Graphite's his name. My goodness, the one that was really good friends with Parrot. Oh my god, the fights with the Bucksters are really, really good. Graphite has that whole thing with him and Hero, where I think he was the one that hurt his girlfriend or killed her or whatever. So they have that whole like rivalry going on for a while, I think, or maybe it's something to do with Taiga. I can't remember exactly, but he was really important that way. But the Bucksters are all unique too. Each Buckster fights very differently than the last, and very unique in the way they move, the way they do things, the gimmick they bring to the fight, whatever that may be. Um, and what I like is when the riders get their different forms, even just like the level 3 forms, or just like adding some armor onto their base suit, they still fight different. Shakariki Sports looks different on X8 as it does to Genom. Shakariki Sports, I love that. Oh my god! Shout out to Proto Dubs for that. I love that the jingle for Shakariki Sports. It's really good. Um, and how well the fight choreography goes into the final attacks, the kicks and the slashes and blasts and all of that. Like, I really like that, and I like that there was more than just rider kicks in this. Like, yeah, usually rider season has more than just kicks, but I like that there was like rider, slashing sword finishers and gun finishers and lots of different types of finishers. One I really like to see, the fights with Maximum Mighty X are really cool because this is big hulking ass robot suit, like mech suit for X8, and it still fights pretty well. Like, it's very bulky and it's slow, but like you think it's gonna be like, oh, it's easy to get around it. Nope, it actually can like stretch its arms and do all this other crazy shit. And don't even get me started on Hyper Muteki. Oh my goodness, if there was perfection in the form of a fight and an introduction fight and a henshin sequence, my goodness, Hyper Muteki's up there. My god, I love the fights with it. I believe there's times where Hyper Muteki was kind of beaten, not really, but I liked its overall aesthetic of bringing X8 to this like final plateau of being like, I'm here and the villains are not here. I'm here. They're not on my level at all. And I liked that. And I like that Kurotoden like built it to like cheat against his dad. I thought that was really cool. So yeah, overall the fight choreography is really, really strong in the season. Each rider has their own unique fight identity, if you will, and really brings a lot to the table. There's a lot of different fight tactics that are used. X8's very jumpy and trying to get around the enemy and stuff like that. Like I said, Heroes, using the sword play. Taiga's got the gunplay. Kiria is a bike. um, I'd already talked about Danger Zombie and all the others. So Poppy does some cool things too, but again, it's one of those things, just like kind of Ride Player Nico, that we don't get enough with her. And I don't want to say I don't care about her, but I unfortunately don't really as much. Like, I like her, and I don't think her design is bad, and I don't think her character is bad even. But again, it was at a time, and even so, more so kind of now too, a little bit, where Ryder has kind of here and there gone in and out of having an issue with portraying a worthwhile female character with their own, move sets and fight identity, like I talked about, and power ups and blah blah blah. So Poppies are okay, but I would probably rate her pretty low compared to the others. But But yeah, so overall, I love the fight choreography. It's just as, again, it feeds into this overall identity of the show, this bombastic, vibrant, in your face, jumpy, hyper type of environment and feel that they're going for. It really works really well. And you feel it when it's supposed to be emotional. You feel it when it needs to be more funny. You feel it, you know. Um, so yeah, so Fighting Hungry are the way. So overall, I have always loved and will probably always love my life love X8. Comparatively to other seasons, it's hard to place it, and it's hard for me to compare seasons. It really is because every season is so unique and so different from the last, and so it's tough. There are definitely seasons I probably like more, but just like Ghost, with this being the one that I got my first driver from, and being the start of my Toku collection, if you will, it definitely holds a special place in my heart. It doesn't mean that it's without its own negatives. The story overall is great, but there are parts where I think they could have just shrunk it by not a few episodes, but some of the plots could have been brought in a little bit. They take a little too long on certain things. The graphite stuff is okay, but they could have shortened that a little bit or just sped it up a little bit. Um, and Besides that, most of it's okay. It's just um, there are certain character things I wasn't like the biggest fan of. I know I talked about overall the story and the characters are great, and they are. But there was like a few things like I wasn't a huge fan of how they deal with Masamune Dan, and then all of a sudden there's Game Day still, and it's like I don't care about Game Day because it's just this like random like life form thing that is the Bugster virus, kind of, sort of, except it was created, so I don't understand that. But anyway, whatever. So I wish it would have just. I wish that they would have just. I think at one point they do kind of. I wish they would have kept it with it and left it there, of Masamune and Dan combined with Game Day S, and that's it. I think there was some stage show thing where they kind of did that maybe, but I don't know. I'm not 100% clear on that, and correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. Um, but overall, it's a really strong season. It does not deserve the hatred that it used to get, or maybe does get to this day. One thing I want to really stress with this series, and I tried to in the last one with Ghost, and I'll reiterate it as many times as I feel like it, is that there is no perfect Rider season. I'm sorry, but there's not. Every season has its highs and its lows, and its cool points and the points you're like, why the hell am I watching this? Maybe not as many as some other seasons, but overall, no season is perfect. Therefore, a season is going to hit something different for each person. I'm a very obnoxious, loud, not charismatic, throw that out, sorry, loud, optimistic, you know, uh, goofy kind of person. So X8 spoke right to my heart, the same way that Kyoryuger spoke to my heart, very much so in the same way. But if you're not that way, if you're more of a reserved person or just not very optimistic, or you're not really into a lot of vibrant colors, well, for one, why are you watching Kamen Rider? But for two, X8's not going to be for you, and that's okay. But if you're going for something like, I think a good way to look at it is, if you're going for a Rider season that you want to watch, and you're trying to figure out what to go for, and you're looking for something that maybe has a touch of video games in it, with maybe like, I don't know, maybe somebody maybe yourself is into like, I don't know, Grey's Anatomy, or just doctor dramas in general, medical dramas in general, check it out. It's not the strongest medical drama ever, but it has enough elements of that mixed with the video game parts that neither part completely overshadows it, in my opinion anyway. Um, and overall, it's a really fun season. There are some characters that I think could have had a bit more to do and could have had some of their storylines sped up a little bit. One that sticks out to me, like I said, was some of the end parts of Masamune Dan and Game Deus, but then also Deus isn't really a character or whatever. Curious thing, when he came back, I think they could have a little quickly more quickly gotten to where he like isn't actually evil and he's just screwing with them, not really screwing with them, playing both sides kind of a thing. But overall, I really enjoyed this season. I think if I have to give it a rating, I probably would set this right about an 8.5. I know it's odd because I've talked so highly about it throughout these last few videos here. But I really enjoy it. I think the suits are great. I think overall the aesthetics are awesome. The suits, the music, the gimmicks. Um, there are parts of the narrative that are really, really strong. There are so few weaker-ish parts. But I think overall it's a pretty strong season and definitely doesn't deserve the hate that it gets. And let me just erase what I said before. I'm going to have it at 9. I'm saying 9 out of 10 overall to me. It doesn't have to be your rating, and that's okay. How did you guys feel about X8? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Do you hate me for liking it? Do you hate me for having a gamer driver and a gas jet? Or many? So yeah, happy to be done with this part. Clearly I'll be going forward. Past this season, we'll be talking about next Kamen Rider build. I have no merch from that. I feel awful about it. Please don't remind me. Someday I'm gonna kick my own butt and, into gear and get something from that season. But definitely the next one will be build, and then after that will be Geo, and then 01, I think. Yeah. So yeah, that's where I am at with Xaid. Love to hear your guys' thoughts about the season. What you guys thought about the suits and the gimmicks and the belts, the characters, the monsters, whatever you want to talk about, leave it in the comments below. I'd love to hear your guys' feedback. If there's anything you think I can do differently in these videos, or a better way I could film it, better way I could structure it, better way I could detail things, let me know. I tried to be more prepared this time. I had some notes written and some things to kind of keep prepared and keep some talking points going. Yeah, so I'll see you guys next time for Kamen Rider Build, Rider Retrospectives on Kamen Rider Build. Thank you so much for watching. Like, share if you can. Comment below. Love to hear your guys' thoughts. And as always, stay hooked on Henshin's with the finger guns always. God, why do I do this? Why am I like this? What's wrong with me? Anyway, until next game, see you guys later.